Wraeclast Weekly. Hello, welcome back to another video. New League is finally happening soon, TM. But no, really, soon. 27th of January is the announcement livestream where we're gonna get the announcement, all the new changes, so on and so forth. Probably Q&A with Ziggy D as well. So really looking forward to that. Probably gonna be streaming it live, as I always try to do. See you there, by the way. Check out my stream if you don't know I stream. But yeah. So the list of topics we are gonna be covering today are gonna be on the screen right now. So let's just jump right into it. First, we'll talk about the League teaser and expansion teaser. Now, I did a separate video for the expansion teaser where I went through my theories frame by frame for the teaser. Check that out. I'll try to put it somewhere on the screen so you can click it, watch that. Hey, doggo. But the new map tab reveal kind of confirmed my theory about the endgame change for the watchstones, basically. So we either gonna have a different way of obtaining watchstones, or we're gonna have a completely different endgame without any watchstones, which is fine by me. Especially because it's been 2 years with pretty much the same endgame. And watchstones were all nice and dandy at the beginning, but since they added Maven, so it's been like a year. Since they added Maven, it's just been too much of a grind, and the Scourge League was a step in the right direction. Also, this is another tidbit, and I might be reading too much into it, as always, you know how things go with speculation, but in the Q&A with Chris Wilson and Ziggy D, they talked about the Atlas changes. And I have a transcript here of the stuff they talked about, the relevant bit for me, where Ziggy D asked the question. So this is just like Atlas questions, basically. Right? So I took the transcript from the video and I just put it here and I just took out the relevant parts and searched for Atlas, right? So they ask about the changed Atlas, and this is like kind of relevant, but not really, about why they kind of crunched it down half as much watchstone grind, right? And then here is the interesting bit where Ziggy D asked, this is an interesting timing, which is for the Atlas watchstone nerfing, because next league, which is 3.17, effectively has new endgame, right? So Chris Wilson answers, next league is the big endgame change one. Should be very interesting, and think of this as an experiment, okay? Think of this as an experiment, okay? Conspiracy tinfoil hats on here. At the end of the day, people like or absolutely love the simplified stuff, then we'll look into that direction for the next league. So, first of all, I don't think that we're gonna have watchstones because the map tab already has the Conqueror maps itemized there. Gonna be there. Itemized Conqueror maps. Do you get that? Yep. So, and this is basically just gonna show us, to me, this, I don't know why, but this seems like they are using this as a gauge. So this league, I mean the endgame grind or the map grind or whatever you want to call it, as a gauge for how difficult / easy or simple or complicated the next endgame should be. Because I don't think there's no way, I mean, first of all, that's not going to happen, but there's no way that they make us do half as many conquerors and then they bring it back. People would just not stand for it. So I'm just thinking that this was an experiment. It was basically just to see how much people were willing to do or how little was too little for the new endgame. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. Now, next order of business, League teaser. It barely gave us anything. Except for some shots of an altar kind of thing, which I'm thinking is the thing we're gonna interact in game, but other than that, yeah, it's just barely, it's not giving me any kind of ideas, personally. I did see this theory post on Reddit about it being to do with uniques, as in, like, you kill a monster, you get a unique, you can sacrifice it to this altar, it makes a new monster stronger, you kill it, you get a better unique back, and so on and so forth. So kind of like prophecy, a little bit like fated uniques, maybe? Maybe this is how they're revamping it. But yeah, I don't know. To me, my gut reaction when I first saw the trailer was Calandra. Because you can see here, she has all those arms. It's all those arms. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know if Calandra is supposedly necessarily should be a female character. Or male. We don't know anything about Calandra. But that was my first gut reaction. Was that it's Calandra. I don't know. There's that. So, have no speculations. Not like for... First of all, the teaser for the League reveal had so much more in it. But this guy, have no guesses. If you have any guesses for the League mechanic, write it down in the comments and we can compare it when we get on the 27th, when we get the live stream announcement. So, let's move on to the new revamped unique teasers. There's some interesting stuff there, and people are speculating that some of these things probably are gonna be the new, or replace some chase uniques, right? Especially the crystallized omniscience. Now this to me smells like a boss drop because, you know, it has the celestial themed flavor text and supposedly is strong. Supposedly? And omniscience means all-knowing, and if my theory is correct and it's Maven's daddy that's coming to, you know, spank us for spanking his creation. And she's basically a floating brain, so he must be a bigger floating brain, right? So, big smarts, big smarts. So yeah, on Reddit we had loads of discussions about this, how this unique works. And Mark did explain how exactly omniscience gets scaled. So there was this misconception, maybe, well, not misconception, but speculation, that if you have all attributes, then that counts as, let's say 10 attributes, all attributes, that counts as 10 strength, dexterity, and intelligence, right? Well, that doesn't necessarily hold true for omniscience itself, because every one stat can only apply to one thing. So all attributes, 10 plus all attributes, is just 10 omniscience instead of 30, okay? So I saw that as a big misconception or speculation that was going around. And it was something I thought about as well, but I'm definitely not one of those people who are trying to suss things out. So I'm just waiting for somebody smarter to explain me exactly how OP this thing is. Because to me, it just seems like if you're stacking so many stats for omniscience to be really OP, right? Because it gives you a bunch of penetration and all this, right? But you're losing all of the rest of the stuff from stats. Like from strength stacker, all that life, gone. Same with intelligence. Intelligence gives you so much. And granted, maybe dexterity is like the least important stat, but dexterity can still give you a substantial amount of stuff. So, I don't know. Somebody smarter has to explain me how getting this stuff from stats is better than the original stuff, I guess. Anyways. So the next unique we had is Melding of Flesh. That was teased. And, I mean, it probably is changing value here. I would say between 50 and 100 maybe. Who knows? We don't know. Maybe somewhere closer. And they were advertising this as a replacement for the Scourge mod that you could get, which gave you minus resistances, basically. But the thing with beauty about the Scourge mod was that you only got the negative that resistance. So people were stacking a bunch of negative lightning resistance for Doriani's prototype. And that was supposedly very OP. I never played it. I think it was pretty expensive build, but it was pretty OP build. And it's definitely nerfed with Scourge gone. And if this is the replacement, I don't know. I mean, it is limited to 1, so... But as somebody rightly pointed out, if the only way you can get negative resistances is by stacking negative all-res, and then you need to make up for... Because now you need 150 extra other resists to cap it with this thing. That's a big, pretty huge downside. So, I don't know if it's gonna be worth it. Pretty huge downside in my eyes. But then again, I never make these like kind of fancy builds. And the last unique that was teased this week is a Dancing Dervish. So, Dancing Dervish. What's interesting about this is because it used to be, well, not 2 uniques, but it had a fated unique version, right? Dancing Duo. There we have it, Dancing Duo. We had the fated version. And there's only 2 different lines on this versus between the normal, the original, and the Duo, and this new one now. There's only like 2 different lines. And the lines that are different are the triggers level 15 manifest Dancing Dervishes. So that previously the Dancing Duo, what it gave you was a copy of the Dancing Dervish. And the Dancing Dervish gave you 1 Dancing Dervish. So now it's basically that there. And melee hits count as rampage kills. Now this is the more important stat, right? First of all, you keep the 2 dervishes, but this is already a buff. Why is it buff? Because rampage, how previously, let's compare it to Dancing Duo, right? Previously, this item gave you rampage. What does rampage do? It gives you stats for killing stuff, right? So if you weren't killing on a single target, you had to chug potions, writing jars. You had to chug writing jars to keep the Dancing Duo active. Because you had to keep having rampage active. And now, with this unique, you don't. Because melee hits count as rampage kills. So you can just keep your Dancing Dervishes alive for single target forever. It's amazing. This is a huge buff. So I wonder if I will finally play this build. I've heard good things about it, so it's really cool, really interesting change. Definitely a buff. Yes, Mars stamp of approval. Cool. Writing jar can go in the bin for this build, basically. So yeah, uniques, all of these uniques seem very interesting, but what's more up my alley is the new teased map tab changes. Not only does it confirm my theory, as I said at the beginning of the video, that I think we can say goodbye to Watchstones. I really hope that I'm right. When we have here the Conqueror maps, but also Elder Guardian maps are gonna be in their separate tabs. Because you know what used to happen with Elder Guardians, because they can spawn on any tier 14 plus map. If you accidentally put it in your map tab and you don't remember the base it spawned on, you have to go one by one on every tab, because there is no search functionality for your whole map tab. Because each of the tabs have a bunch of little tabs inside. So you have to go through it one by one. And now they're all gonna go in their separate tabs, which is amazing. I can't believe it took them so long, but I'm happy that's finally here. It's the best thing ever. Because I used to have a tab where I would put them separately. But now, not so much. Not anymore. Love it. It's great. Mars stamp of approval. I can't wait. But yeah, here we have confirmation. My theory... still holding on, still strong, guys, it's still strong. So yeah, let's now move on to my top nerfs. Top nerf list. First, in no particular order, these are just my top nerf predictions, because we're supposedly getting Balance Manifesto later today. So my top nerf is Champion. Why? Why is Champion so OP? I don't know. Why is it so good? GGG, what are you doing? I mean, please don't change it, because I love it. But yeah, Champion is just too good. I don't know. Also, maybe it was exacerbated by this league, because there were some things like Seismic Trap that you could basically play almost any build with champion. Be it caster, be it freaking bow, like playing with a bow, spells, anything. Plays a champion. Also, why is so desirable? Because permanent fortify, because they removed fortify from pretty much anybody that's melee. So, fortify. And like my build, I'm using an aura stacking, and aura stacking super OP. I mean, they changed auras, they made them better, and aura stacking is back on the menu, boys and girls. So, I'm pretty sure, well, not pretty sure, I'm thinking that they will nerf champion in some way. I don't know, maybe they won't, but it's the most popular ascendancy for a reason, right? Yeah, champion, my first pick for nerfs. Second pick, Seismic Trap. I mean, who wouldn't have seen that coming? Like, super obvious on the nose. But Seismic Trap, I think, is gonna go... Well, not donezo. I hope they don't destroy it. But they're definitely gonna nerf it because we saw literal champions kill Awakener 8 in Gauntlet with Seismic Trap. Like, you didn't need any Ascendancy to have damage. You didn't even need, like, freaking stuff on your skill tree pretty much for Seismic Trap. Just put on Seismic Trap and go. I did play briefly Seismic Trap on in the Atlas Invasion event, and I was scared for my life until I got Seismic Trap, and then I was just throw all the traps and everything dies. And you can argue that maybe the scaling of the bosses from Atlas weren't that greatly implemented while you were leveling, but I mean, I was just nuking them. So it was, I didn't have to be scared. It was so OP. So yeah, Seismic Trap is my second pick. Third pick, Mageblood. I don't have a specimen to show you here because it's really freaking expensive and super fucking rare. But Mageblood, too OP. I think it's basically gonna get the Headhunter treatment. So in what sense is it? It might be that they nerf things related to it, like they did with, you know, self-cursing for Headhunter. They kept nerfing it because it was just too OP. And, I mean, Headhunter is still alive. It's not destroyed. It's just worse than it was. And they might nerf either Flask effectiveness or Flasks in general, because Flasks do OP. I'm hoping that they don't nerf Flasks, because there's loads more people that use Flasks that don't have a Mageblood than as builds that use self-cursing without a Headhunter, right? It's just, you know, there's very few builds, and there's so many people who use Flasks. Obviously, everybody uses Flasks. So, it's more likely that they nerf Mageblood itself, and I'm thinking that they're probably gonna lower the effectiveness of Flasks, so instead of you get a full Flask effectiveness, maybe it's 80%. That's my prediction for Mageblood nerf. It might still stay the same because it only was live for one league. But I think it went in the core drop pool. Yeah, it went in the core drop pool. Anyways, I'm thinking Mageblood's getting nerfed. I don't know. It's still super rare unique, so it's not like that many people were playing with it, but I don't know. Yeah. That's my third prediction. And my fourth prediction, again, this is no particular order in terms of likeliness on or what I want to get nerfed, but my fourth prediction is Spell Suppression. So it will be very sad. I love Spell Suppression. Spell Suppression is great. But I'm thinking it's just too easy. I don't know if, you know, they did it for a I mean, they implemented this way, Spell Suppression, for a reason. Whether to see how popular it's gonna be, but like, it's so great. Spell Suppression's really great. You get generic spell damage reduction for really not that much investment. Like, you don't even have to have things on the skill tree. The synergizes great with so many builds, right? And even if you don't have this, you're super far. If you wanted to, you could get spell suppression on any character. So, I see two routes. They either nerf how much you get spell suppression for 100%, right? So, maybe instead of 50% spell damage you suppress 40% or something like that. Or they make it substantially harder to get it. So nerf the amount you get on the gears, nerf the amount you get on gear, so you have to invest more. There's more opportunity cost to get spell suppression. I don't know. Personally, I would rather them nerf the value than the way to get it. Because even if they go the route of glancing blows, right? I'd rather still make it easy to get and just get less suppression. So less suppressed damage. I don't know. So yeah, those were my top nerf predictions. If you got this far, congratulations! That's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Write in the comments what is your top nerf pick, and we'll be able to compare notes after the Balance Manifesto. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for next one. Bye, bye, bye.